The Jamaica government have the press briefing, and once more Miss ZARA have a lot of questions to ask. As a matter of fact, she only asked 3 questions. And Miss ZARA will be asking, and of course, waiting for the Prime Minister to respond.
Not to be here at this particular juncture stepping out like that. So I just want to make that point. The second answer to the question.
Okay, ask your questions and then I'll
We said
respond.
it was going to KAC, but we also have questions in the media, and I don't think that's right. Okay, if I could just also say some questions, please. In terms of the Prime Minister, I'm hoping that you can answer some of these questions. The questions I wanted to direct to the ODPEM head, I would maybe they're on your lap today, but I don't know if you can answer them. We've been asking for very specific information when it comes to the issue of the drops. Felicia Williams, in one press conference recently, asked about a drop schedule because there has been some concern from people on the ground that they're not getting aid equally. And I know that the Prime Minister just mentioned a while ago that there will be a card system implemented, but in the meantime, there is this concern about aid not being equitable. So we would want to know, for the people who are in the midst of suffering, what can be done to give more specificity on the aid drops so that people can know when to expect what, when and where, and especially the people on the interior who are not getting some of this aid. 2, is there a way to speak about these container homes that the Prime Minister just spoke about? One container, I remember, went flying, according to this guy in St. Elizabeth. And so I'm just wondering if when we spend on these container homes, if that has been looked at, the issue of how strong these container homes will be. 3 for the PM. What about the houses underwater? Will you be building these currently?
And then that one about water?
The house is now underwater.
Oh, underwater, okay.
Yes. Will you be spending money to rebuild these? And then in terms of climate change, there was a vote in October, 2 weeks prior to Hurricane Melissa, where the international community was voting whether to delay the implementation of carbon emissions, the reduction and implementation of an initiative to cut carbon emissions from ships. That was delayed for a year by the group, and Jamaica voted to delay it. I wanted to know why we voted to delay that. And also, if climate change is so urgent in Jamaica, why didn't we maybe engage our partners like the United States, China, Saudi Arabia, on this particular measure more aggressively instead of delaying it?
From as far as the PAAC and materialized here, please join us, Commander Gale. You may be better able to answer some of these questions than I am placed to do. But to say on the matter of the equitable distribution of the humanitarian and care packages, I too have had my concerns, and I too have heard the complaints. Now, when we investigated it, it was not necessarily that there was any malicious intent. In other words, someone decided that they're just going to give aid to one particular community. A lot of it was that because of the informality of our system, there's just some communities that they just don't know. And the MPs have been very useful in pointing out, hey, you forgot this community, you have not gone to this community. In that process of bringing communities to attention, you would then get the opinion that these communities were willfully neglected, which is not the case. So what we have said to ADPEM is, listen, go and do a thorough check for every community, because remember now, there are some communities that may have been informally settled, that there's no formal record of them on a map, or sometimes the parish councils don't even know. but the MPs would likely have general knowledge of the area. And so to bring the two knowledge bases together, what we know formally on our maps and what the MPs and other persons know, we're going to put that now on a solid database so that we can have a systematic delivery, which is what we have started to do. And which is what I said here 2 weeks ago, in response to this very thing, that we need to have a systematic delivery, a proper schedule, where every community that has been impacted, that needs assistance, that we can get it to them on a routine basis. And that is what Commander Gale has been tasked to do. And I'm not sure if you can give an update as to where we are in building out the number of communities and where we are in terms of reaching the communities that have been impacted. On the climate change issues, I am not prepared in terms of the questions that you have asked, but I could undertake at the next briefing when Minister Samuda has returned and I can have a discussion with him. I will give you some responses on those. We have noted the questions, and so we'll give you the responses on the climate change issues. Oh, the houses underwater. Oh, the container homes. Right, so the questions that you have raised are valid questions about their strength. We've looked at it in a comprehensive way. We have actually had a meeting this morning with the NHD. And as I said, at another briefing, we'll go more into housing. But yes, we have examined structural integrity, the environmental health, the materials that are used, the space, heat, and insulation. We have looked at them in a comprehensive way. And so we have, as I've said, we have made a decision that we can go with some of these containerized modular solutions. But we will certainly make sure that the ones that we bring here are structurally sound and environmentally healthy as well for human use. The houses underwater, I've been looking at that. I can't give you an answer right now. Remember now, many of these are private properties. So they would fall under government giving some kind of assistance to recover. So we would have to go and do a case-by-case assessment. Do they have insurance? Did they occupy the land legally? All of these are things that you would have to do before we could make a general statement about how government will help. But you can take it that government will lean forward to give some support to those persons who have been so affected. Thank you.